Okay, so we're back with Jessica, Alex, and Veronica, and we're really starting to dig into some meaty issues here, talking about issues that have affected the Latino community, looking at leadership in the Latina community, and kind of let's start to project about the future a little bit. So here in Long Beach, and Alex, you were born and raised in Long Beach, so you've got that connection. The Latino community is growing. It's estimated it makes up about 42% of the population here, and that number is expected to grow. And we see articles about it all the time about how the community is growing nationally as well. So let's talk about what will that mean for Long Beach as the community continues to grow politically. What will it mean for Long Beach?
Well, I think it's awesome that we already have like a Latino mayor. He was born in Peru and immigrated to the U.S., but I would love to see a Latina mayor one day. And just seeing more like Latinos, Latinas on the city council, I think would be really incredible, and especially as things are changing. I think it's headed that direction. But even just instilling those ideas into younger people and in the younger generations of like, that's somewhere that you could go and like you can help people of your community, and if you're frustrated by things, this is how you can go about changing them.
And it's a large population today. How many Latinos represent on the city council? Is it two?
Well,
including the mayor?
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's not enough, actually, for the population. I think that the community needs to see themselves in their leaders, and I hope that that grows. I really do, because you know it's critical.
Can you talk to us a little bit about economically? How would that growth impact Latinos and Long Beach as that population grows here economically? What do you see?
That's a good question.
So you're working in housing, and you're seeing, what is the experience today for the Latino community when we look at issues of housing and poverty?
Yeah, it's a growing divide. It's really difficult. You know, you see families that are living, you know, 2-3 families in a 2-bedroom home. You know, across the county it's a problem, but because our community is young and still having children and our population is growing, there's not enough housing here. There's not enough affordable housing here, so that's an issue. And I think that that's why it's important politically that we have, you know, not that our current council is not sensitive to that, but I think that people that understand it a little differently, what some of the barriers are, maybe some of the policies will change.
What do you think, Jessica, socially and culturally will be the impact here in Long Beach as the Latino community continues to grow? What will happen socially and culturally?
Well, culturally we'll have a great, vibrant community that has our culture and music and dance, and we'll have a growing economic community, because we all know that the Latino community are hard workers and really contribute to that economic growth in the communities through our dollars. We purchase here locally. We don't go outside of our community, so as we look at who is the biggest contributors to our local economy, it is Latinos. And you know, just going back into what Alex and Veronica said in regards to having champions for our community and really having them to understand what are our issues in the Latino community, you know, we need to continue to have mentoring. You know, mentoring is so very huge, and having those leaders in our community who have the understanding are what are the challenges that we're facing. And so I see, you know, we need to develop more mentors. We need to be shepherds in our community for our youth, to develop our youth to have those opportunities and get what kind of information they need to navigate college, to what kind of career path they're going to take, so they can reach their full potential and be productive members in our community. So you know, those are some of the carrots and also some of the challenges.
What are some of the things that are happening right now, education-wise, that you see, Alex, that is helping the Latina community or Latino community as it continues to grow?
Well, I just think in Long Beach, we have the Promise Pathways program, which allows for students in high school to be introduced to the Long Beach City College system and then the Cal State Long Beach system. And so what Promise Pathways does is it makes a seamless pathway for them to go from high school, from one of the Long Beach Unified School District high schools, straight to Long Beach City College, get their first semester completely free and paid for, and then eventually be able to transfer to Cal State Long Beach. And I think by keeping the community here as opposed to shoving them out, or not providing enough resources for them, we're really helping our own community and trying to build them up. But I think that while things are really strong within that Promise Pathways program, I think that they can be even better, and I think mentoring is a huge thing, and just having Latinos and Latinos to be able to look up to is like really, really powerful. After I returned from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government from my leadership program, with a team of five other of my classmates, we developed a website called Roar Into College, and it's still up today. But that website really does try to encourage high school students, community college students to apply to college. And there's videos on the website. It's roarintocollege.com. And you can just go and kind of explore the site and see like what resources are out there available for you, whether it's like just to explain what financial aid is, or like the difference between an AA degree and a BA degree, because sometimes that's not even known within the community. And we tried to make the site bilingual as much as we could. So there's a parent corner, and that alone, like I think, kind of reaches out to the Latino community and help the parents understand, because I think you need to have the parental support to help guide a student through college.
So Alex, you got me thinking about something, and I heard a reaction from you when we talked about our leadership in Long Beach currently with the City Council. Obviously, there are other types of leaders that we've seen. You and your nonprofit, you know, you and the university, you and other nonprofit as well. Let's talk a little bit about something that I think is really critical. We've talked about folks in the high school and college age. What about at those early ages? You're saying we have a really young community here. What needs to happen, and what do you want viewers who are watching to think about in order to really address some of these issues, these real needs in the Latino community? The community is growing. There are real needs. You're talking about students graduating in the Latino community. How surprising that was. You're almost over 40% of the population today. What do people need to know? What do they need to address? We've got a couple minutes to talk about this.
I think just to piggyback what Alex was saying, I think the parents really need to understand what the value of education is going to mean to their children, and how to navigate. Because even second, third generation parents, it's difficult. It's not easy to navigate the system, to know, you know, what you're supposed to be taking in junior high school and high school, and when you know, study for the SATs and the ACT, all of that. It's difficult to navigate.
Whose responsibility is that to help these parents know? And maybe Jessica, you could talk about that a little bit.
Well, you know, thank you, Melissa, for bringing that up. I mean, I think we have one of the 5th largest school districts, and as we look at our growing population, I mean, we almost represent 70–80% in most school areas. And so I think, you know, as we prepare our young Latinos to be achievers, it's going to be important to really educate those parents to understand what is it to have an education home, what is it to provide a healthy home, so that we are preparing these kids for the future. And also within our communities and our environments, you know, how do we better prepare environments that our children are learning, that we have safe communities, we have safe.
Tell us, Jessica, what role would men play in that?
Our men in our community really play a huge role. You know, they are, and if we look back into our indigenous ways, men were the keepers. They were the ones who protect the women and the children, and kept the communities thriving and kept the food coming, right? And so our men play a huge role in our communities. They are the providers, you know, they are the keepers, they're the mentors, they keep our communities safe. And so men play a role in making sure that our youth are thriving, that our families are thriving, that we don't have violence, that we don't have this continued, you know, abuse on our children. And so men, you know, play a huge role as far as understanding what is their role of men in our community.
So as we wrap up this great conversation, I know there's so much more to talk about. Just tell us, what's a hope that you have for the community, and maybe even thinking about Latina leadership? What's a hope that you have for the Latina community, or for the viewers watching, that they might need to know?
I think,
What's your hope?
My hope is just that everyone just, like, if we can just communicate and collaborate, I think, as a community, and have like more open dialogues and conversations about things like this, I think we'd be headed in a much better direction. Not that we're not already, but yeah.
More collaboration.
More collaboration.
Thank you, Alex. Jessica?
My hope is that we, really are taken seriously as a Latino community, and that we do have those pathways to careers and education and community development for Latinos here in housing and better jobs. And see most of our city government and education institutions, leadership who make those decisions really reflect our community.
Mm-hmm. So be taken seriously and reflect our community and the leadership. Okay.
Yeah, that would be my hope and vision, is that we see more Latinos and Latinas in leadership positions, because I think that's when we're going to see real change.
So it sounds like there's a lot of work to do, whether you're Latino or another member of this community, to really uplift and work together and collaborate so that we can see some change. So again, thank you, Veronica, Jessica, and Alex, for this very first Palacio Roundtable where we're working to engage, empower, and transform our community. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.